Let me know if you guys can hear me okay in the chat. And Nikki will be here in just a moment. All right, so good morning, good morning. So glad I made it to a live. I'm glad that you made it to a live as well. Good morning. Well, I'm just going to be doing some updates before we dive into questions, but if you guys have any questions, you can start dropping them down in the comments below. And I'm excited to see if any of our new channel members are in the chat to see how they look, because I know some of you guys have like little badges depending on how long you have been on the channel, and then you guys have like special emojis, which I've seen some people use, which is pretty exciting. So if you guys don't know what we're talking about, I'm by no means trying to make you do this, but we did offer channel memberships, which is $4.99 a month on YouTube. If you want to join the channel, it's a way to support the channel and possibly have exclusive content. Right now we just have emojis that we made up, which are pretty cool and unique to the channel. But I was trying to think of some like exclusive content that we could give you guys, like a special video once a month or something like that. So if you guys have anything that you would want to see exclusively if you were to join a channel membership, you can drop them in the comments down below. Let us know what you think would be worth $4.99 a month. Good morning, good morning. Nikki's here doing the slouch chair today.
Yeah, y'all probably can't see this. I'm gonna mess this up. Ready? Can I just rotate?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, look at this slob of a desk. Like, I can't even get to my desk right now. So digging that chair over here out was like impossible. So y'all get the slouch chair today.
That's
Is that
good.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Normal?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this chair is really nice though. It's just gonna make me look way shorter than I am because it sits down pretty far. But honestly, like, if I got a nice footstool, I could take a nap here.
Yeah, it's pretty comfy. It's supposed to be like a waiting chair.
Waiting for questions. That's what it is.
Good morning. I see a lot of people. Jacksonville. I saw some people from cloudy South Carolina. It's been off and on cloudy here. We've had some weird storms. Michigan. When you had your employees on, it threw me off. Both of them resemble you both slightly. Oh.
Yeah, we actually, Mandy had a conversation about that. It honestly just like worked out the way that it did. But I think somebody on the one I had with Marley said something like, oh, it's a Cayley doppelganger. And I was like, I guess I never thought about the fact that they both have dark hair. And then I thought about Jordan going on the next week, and I was like,
She has
oh my
blonde hair.
God, she has blonde hair. It's going to look like me. So I thought it was kind of funny.
That is funny. All right, I see some questions starting to roll in, but before we get to that, I know we're going to get asked this today. So let's talk about the new USPS Ground Advantage shipping service. And if you don't know, if you didn't watch our podcast episode where we talked about it on Friday, or if you just haven't heard of it, I will say, like, eBay just dropped a bomb and was just like, hey, like, next week all the shipping services are changing. So if you guys haven't heard about it and you're on eBay, yeah, I saw somebody just said, have you encountered the new USPS shipping yet? We are talking about that right now. So basically what happened is USPS, so the post office itself, changed their shipping services. And so first class is no longer, and USPS Ground is no longer. And essentially, they have combined those two into one shipping service called USPS
Ground Advantage.
Ground Advantage.
And there is
And
no advantages right now, let me tell you. This conversion sucks.
so it was very sudden. And so any platform that you sell on that uses USPS, if you ship with that service, then it might affect you. The only platform currently that I know of that isn't affected by it is Poshmark. Now Poshmark does use USPS, but they are using priority mail. I honestly wonder if that's going to change with this new service. Maybe they'll
It should
convert.
be, well, yeah, I'd say it should be kind of straightforward with them, because if they only do one, then they would just
So
adjust.
priority mail is still a go. First class is not. It's now the USPS ground advantage. And so I see some pros and cons with this. If we're just talking about the service itself, pros are you can go higher than a pound, which I didn't realize. I thought it was going to be like the same as first class. So you can actually go up to many more pounds. I think we were testing some out this morning. We went up to like 14 pounds or something like that. And depending on where it was going, it was only like $10. So that was pretty cool. And so I think if you're shipping out heavier things that are still within the dimensions, which are still within a cubic foot, so that hasn't changed, that it is pretty cheap to ship heavy stuff. If you don't, and you're going outside those dimensions, it obviously gets more expensive, just like priority mail does. But in some cases, I'm thinking it might actually be cheaper to go with the ground advantage than the priority mail. The downsides are, to my knowledge, you cannot use the free shipping supplies for that. I think you still have to use, priority shipping service if you're going to use the boxes, which is kind of a disadvantage. And maybe this is their way of like starting to phase that out.
Yeah, I don't know.
But we use the free shipping supplies a lot, especially the padded flat rate envelopes. So I'm hoping that doesn't go away, because that would be a real big bummer. And I don't want to go buying all my own shipping supplies again, right? Ooh. One of our channel members is here. I was wondering what that was going to look like. Thank you so much. You have a little badge and you're highlighted in the chat. So I was wondering what that was going to look like. That's cool. Welcome. And so, yeah. Pros, cons. Now, that was just the shipping service itself. So if you haven't heard of it, oh yay, the Tina Llama emoji. I love it. But love the shipping service. Don't love the conversion on eBay.
Yes.
Because
that was my sad comment. I think it'll be good. Yeah. It's just the conversion, which y'all already know I'm a anti-change person, so I had to be the one against it this morning. But
they gave us like no time at all. At least us. I literally got the message on eBay last week, and before we even got the message, I heard about it because a viewer reached out to me. Yeah. And I was like, what are you talking about? I haven't heard like anything about this. So yeah, it's crazy. I'm already seeing you guys' questions in the comments about this. Let me just tell you what I know so far. So this just launched yesterday. This started. This is what I know. There is a grace period. I don't know how long it is. I think it's going to be about 30 days. From where, if you still have things listed as first class and they sell, it'll automatically allow you to convert to the ground advantage for the same price. And we did that this morning and it was the same price. But eBay still stated that you will have to, moving forward with your new listings, create them using the shipping service. You have to actually select that, which we'll have to remember that when we're bulk uploading to change it to that. And you're also responsible for changing your current existing listings. Now here is where the confusion sets in and it gets really frustrating, because I don't know about you guys, but we have a little over 6,000 listings right now. I can't tell you easily which ones are first class, which ones are priority mail, and then even within that, which ones are padded flat rates. And I scoured eBay today. I tried like 5 different methods. I tried all of them. I could not find a way to filter to just first class packages, or to even see like easily what the shipping service was. Like I tried to customize the table, change what I was viewing. I even tried pulling our active listing spreadsheet. Wasn't on there. After trying all these methods, I eventually contacted eBay's customer service. So if you're like, I see all these questions, I'm just going to answer them all. I spoke with an eBay customer service rep today. There is no way to filter. Okay? There's no way to filter. So, hopefully that answers all of your questions. So, what are we going to do? First of all, I asked that rep. They said, well, you could set up business policies and that would fix it. I hate business policies. Every time we use it, stuff gets messed up. I don't want to do business policies. That's just my personal opinion. And I can't imagine that every seller out there wants to do business policies. eBay has to come up with a workaround for people that don't want to use business policies. Otherwise, it's impossible to get all these things changed. If they are able to convert when you print the label to the new shipping service, then why can't they convert it on your listings? To me, that seems like a very simple thing.
Yeah, or give you the option to filter to be able to adjust those.
So, long story short, spoke with the rep and ended the conversation saying, that wasn't helpful. Could you please send my request to the tech team, because they've done that before with some other things we've needed. So I know that that is an option, and say, can you please forward my request to the tech team? I'm sure I'm not the only seller having issues right now. Can you please send this on and let them know it's a huge issue and that sellers need a way other than business policies to be able to filter and bulk edit. And so that's where we landed. I see a bunch of people saying business policies is super easy. It might be for you, but for some reason, every time we try to change it, it messes our entire eBay store up. So I'm not really interested in business policies, and I know that there's a ton of other sellers that need another alternative as well. So what we're going to do is, we know everybody else is experiencing issues. I feel like eBay is going to have to come up with a solution because there are so many people having issues right now. So we're going to give it a couple weeks. We're still within a grace period and just see what happens and what eBay comes up with. If they don't come up with a fix, which I think that they probably will, we are going to bulk edit all of our listings to include the new ground advantage, because again, it goes above that 1 pound limit now, and then add priority mail as a secondary option. So worst comes to worst, that's what we're going to do. But I saw all those questions coming and I was like, I know we're going to have to talk about this today. Let's just get it out of the way. Now let's jump into the other questions. And good morning, everyone. And I saw we had some moderators in this one, thank goodness. So we needed some moderators the last couple and didn't have them. So I'm very thankful you guys are here. Hopefully no trolls today.
I'm gonna tell the trolls today. My morning started off not so great today. When I say not so great, I feel like I'm on the edge of jumping off the edge. So if I find some trolls today, I probably am going to say some not so nice things. Not that I want to be that person, but I feel like the control is right here. So if y'all want to watch it, push the buttons. If not, probably pass today. All right, it's David, 2021, wants to know, is it better to accept returns on eBay or not to do returns? Go.
I think it depends on what you want your business model to be, but the way I view it, as your buyers can force returns anyway, so you might as well offer returns and get the added benefits of offering returns because they can force them anyways, and then you'll have those advantages. And you've talked about this before, but people today expect to be able to return items. I, as a buyer, expect to be able to return items. So
yeah, me too.
Yeah, you get more sales out of offering returns than the hit you take from some returns that you might get. So
I'll also pay more a lot of times if I know somebody's going to take returns, or if they offer free returns, because I would rather give the money to somebody that I know I can return it if it's $5-10 than I would otherwise.
Yeah,
but that's just because I know I hate 90% of the things that I buy. So one of those people. Are y'all selecting certain countries you don't ship to because of the requirements of packing materials used? No.
We use the global shipping program, and they already exclude certain things. We've never had, because we only use eBay's programs for that, we don't ship directly. We've never had an issue where we have to package things a certain way. And everything that we sell is, none of it's prohibited. So it's really easy. It's just clothing.
somebody brought up a good point about not doing returns with new tag items. So you can decide, even if you decide you want to do returns, you can choose to have like limits to that, where you could choose not to do that on like new with tag items. Or I know one of the ones we talked about was dresses, any like formal dresses. A lot of times things like that, people will buy them and then like wear them for the event and send them back. And a lot of times like the bottom gets really worn or they spill stuff on it or whatever. So a lot of times we don't accept returns on like formally dresses that we pick up, but or like things we think that would be worn as formal. But yeah, you can totally like accept returns on other things, but choose not to on your new tag items. I feel like I get that.
Yeah. I saw somebody ask if we could redo a video on the Posture VA extension because it's changed a lot. I actually have one already pre-recorded that shows I'm sharing like all of my settings on Posture VA and what you can do with it. That will be coming out soon. It's pre-recorded. I just got to edit it, so it will be coming out.
Do you know if you can bulk edit listings if you don't have a store?
Okay. I am under the impression no. I'm under the impression that you don't have the seller hub if you have an individual account. However, we have had people come on and say, I only have a seller account and I still have access to the seller hub. So I really don't know. I'm hearing two different things. I don't know if some people are confused or whatever. I actually have another eBay store that is just an individual account. It's basically like a backup account in case some things happen. But I have an individual seller account on there. I do not have access to the seller hub. So I'm thinking no, if you have an individual account, you can't use the bulk editor because the bulk editor is on your eBay seller hub. So if you have the seller hub, yes. If you don't, no. You have to have access to the bulk editor. But if you have more than like, I think it's like 250 listings, it's worth it to just go ahead and get that first store. There is a video that I have. It's like, and it has the eBay store subscription calculator document in the description, and you can figure out which store you're going to need and kind of like plan ahead. But you could honestly be saving money by having a store, and having the seller hub and those bulk functions is totally worth it to me. So $5 a month, get the bulk editor. I think it's worth it.
Sold. How many items does each rack hold now with the new inventory system? I went to the racks and banker boxes like you have recently, and it saves space versus my big, wide plastic bin tub racks.
So there's 20 boxes and it holds approximately 10, so about 200 items on a shelf. It's definitely less, like slightly less than what we were holding, but it wasn't as much like time, or sorry, it did not take as much space as I thought it was going to initially.
So originally when we just did banker boxes, we were fitting about 25, and even totes, we were fitting about 25 at each box at that time. So the rack was holding 250. So we have cut down by like 50 per each rack, which, you know, does take more out of the way, I guess, or take up more space, but it is a lot easier for us to find the items digging through than it was with the banker boxes. Banker boxes are cheap, but they were a lot.
This is definitely a more expensive setup. However, I think we save more time and labor than it costs. So
is it better to leave item specifics blank than adding your own in? Does leaving it blank if nothing applies hurt the listing in search? We have a rule. If it's required, you have to put something, obviously. For required especially, you should never hand type anything in. You need to like pick from what they have, because that's what options it's going to give buyers as they're like click and drop downs. The rule for the specifics or like additional is if it applies, fill it in. If it doesn't, leave it blank. Otherwise, you're going to end up with your item being in some like really wacky places that it doesn't apply. I don't think it hurts the search. Hasn't hurt our search that way.
No, it's going to hurt your search more if you're putting things in that are untrue. So if you can't answer the drop down truly by selecting one of their things, you should just leave it blank. Yes. But fill out as many as you can that are true. Like, don't just look at sleeve type and go, well, I don't know what those are, so I'm just going to leave it blank. Take the time and figure out what they mean.
Take the time, go to Cayley Elaine's channel and watch the video on sleeve type.
Yeah, so you have to do your due diligence to know what the drop downs mean. But after that, if they still don't apply, then leave it blank.
Thrift with Joy said last night eBay had both first class and ground advantage options available. When we went to do shipping this morning, it still said first class, but then when you clicked into it, the ground advantage was within that. What we've been told is that eBay's going to convert those labels to I guess apply for that ground advantage even if you select first class. So just so you kind of know what that looks like. You will still see it, but it is in that conversion process.
Temporarily.
Yes. Tiger Island Pride says there is an advantage. Hazardous materials like nail polish can now be shipped at 4 ounces instead of 1 pound minimum charge.
Oh.
So that sounds good. See, I feel like there's going to be,
It's nice.
Again, my no advantage does not mean there's legit no advantage. It's just thinking about the conversion. There's no advantage to easy changes. But I feel like for us, we might see the most advantage when it comes to heavier priority items that we were automatically using priority.
Mm-hmm.
But for some of you guys who ship some different things than what we do other than clothing, y'all might have some pretty good perks. I look forward to it. Let me know. Let's plan for next Monday. Y'all let me know how this has affected you. You explore into it too.
Judy actually said another advantage right below that. Right below the green.
Oh, sorry. Don't hate me. It's a good thing. You now get $100 insurance on first class mailing. That is good.
Yeah.
That is good. Why would I hate you? Thanks, Judy. Thanks for being here.
She didn't want to go against the grain.
You can go against the grain. That's a good thing. Like I said, I'm not saying no advantages. That's just me being a Debbie Downer today. I'm more so just mad that like eBay doesn't have like a quick like push out where people don't have to do it. Like if they're gonna adopt something, you'd think that they would have worked out all those kinks so that we as sellers didn't have to jump through so many hoops to make it successful, because honestly, like, we're still pretty small fish. Like, there's people out there that have like millions and millions and millions of dollars of things on eBay, and we don't. And I can't even imagine like us making the adjustment. So for some people, like, I do feel bad if there's not going to be like a quick fix for them, and if they don't like eBay policies. You can choose to like them or not. Also, fun fact, did you know you can sell money on eBay?
Mm-hmm.
I did not know that. But I was watching TikTok and I found out all these monies that you can sell on TikTok or on eBay, and I was like, I'm gonna become a millionaire by selling money.
My mom actually sold some like vintage coins and like coins with errors on them and stuff. So she's done a little bit of that and was pretty successful. And I was like, man, shipping money would be so easy.
Yeah, you just
man, that'd be nice.
Can you still use eBay poly mailers for the ground? I'm assuming you can use whatever, yes. Right?
The only thing that you can use any of like your own packaging, which includes the eBay ones. The only thing you can't use are the like specific for priority mail, like the red, white, and blue boxes and bags. Those are for priority mail only, and Priority Mail Express. So you can't use those unless you're using the service that's stated on them, but everything else is a go.
I know some of you guys had questions down further about, Cayley said something about not wanting to buy shipping supplies. Yes, you're already buying them for first class. So if you're using a first class to ground advantage conversion, there's nothing different. But for us, the way that we ship, it's first class up to obviously the 1 pound cutoff. And then we were automatically switching to priority. But it looks like some of the ground advantage for some regions or zones will actually be cheaper than what it'll be for us to use it as priority. So if that's the case, that would be us going from using the free boxes to the ground advantage, which will be more things that we purchase. So I think there was some confusion on that earlier, so I wanted to make sure I cleared that up. Somebody said Mercari is not affected.
That makes sense. I read that comment. That makes sense because Mercari, well, hold up. Mercari you can ship on your own, which is what we did in the past. So it would affect you in that way. But besides that, if you ship using the Mercari labels, theirs are still like small, a range of pounds, medium, a range of pounds. So they're probably changing that on their end, as they should, as platforms should. So it will be easier. But if you're like a lot of us who ship on your own on Mercari because it's cheaper for you and the buyer, it will affect you, and you're going to have to be aware of that new shipping service. Hi, little Miss Nat.
Hey. I missed you and Trina and Dusty Old Hat when I did that live by myself. I thought, Lord help me that nobody shows up in here, because I did not have any moderators, and I was like, oh, I really hope that this does not turn bad. But it was fine.
I didn't have many, like, well, I wouldn't say didn't have many of the regular viewers. It's just that I didn't have the ones that talk in the chat a lot that, like, I recognize. So everybody must have been on vacation those 2 weeks.
I think ground advantage is still 3 to 5 days. Somebody can correct me if that's wrong, but I'm pretty sure the ground advantage is still the like first class timing. DB Donut said, I love your channel, you rock, and I learned so much from this channel. And then they use the factor stacking emoji. Hey, look at it. You see it?
Yes.
You see it right here?
Ooh, I like that one a lot. It's vibrant. Someone used the Tina Llama one earlier.
I saw that one. Dude, that Tina Llama freaking gets me. Like, I will never live Tina down. Come to the dark side and do business policies with the devil emojis and a laugh.
Guys, I've tried like 3 times. Here's the other thing. I was actually, just so you know, I'm not someone who's like, I will never do that. I actually was researching business policies this morning, and I was like, if we have to do this, like if this is my only option, you know, I need to know what that's going to entail. So I was looking at business policies this morning, and long story short, the more listings you have and the more different types of items you have, eBay automatically creates, when you start business policies, all of these policies based on the amount of items you have. So the larger you get, the harder it is to use business policies. It's very scary for somebody at 6,000 listings. So I am digging my heels in and praying that we don't have to, because I personally prefer manually doing it. And I am so happy for everyone where business policies works for you, but it's not working for me.
Bugsy brings up a good point. I was thinking about this the other day and I forgot to tell you about it. But you can sort on your active page by shipping cost. So it's not going to fix everything, but that would help us with kind of narrow down a lot of the priority versus non-priority.
So I tried that.
To an extent.
Yeah, I tried that. I was very hopeful to do that, but ours just says calculated for buyer or something like that. It doesn't actually tell me the shipping cost. It's supposed to display, it is supposed to display the lowest shipping cost that a buyer could pay, but it's not doing that for me, and I would imagine for a lot of users. But I was like, this might work. No.
Tiger Allen Pride says, I'm thinking of just changing the shipping label to whatever when it sells. But yes, you could do that. But also, the thing you're going to think of long term is that there's going to probably come a point in time where the pricing might be different and you might be losing money or overcharging the buyer for shipping.
They've also already stated that they're only having a grace period for so long, And so I assume once that grace period ends, that anything that is still left in first class, which is a service that would no longer exist, that your listings would be pulled and not show up. So you might want to keep that in mind, that you do need to have a plan in case that happens, because you don't want to be someone where your listings disappear because you don't have what is needed in the listing. Christy, thank you so much for the super, well, I guess that's the super sticker. Thank you so much for the $10 super sticker. Really appreciate it.
She says, thanks so much for all the free info towards taking my girl Nikki for lunch or coffee.
Sounds good.
Okay, little mismatch just because we scrolled down for that. But it says, it's been when it rains, it pours past few weeks, but I'm doing great. We're glad you're here. We've missed you.
Yeah.
You want to talk about when it rains and pours? Listen to this. I'm going to tell you this. Probably shouldn't tell you this because it's personal, but whatever. So I went to Nashville last week. It was super fun. I'm glad to be back, but it was very hot. I'm very grateful for that trip. We had like the best time ever. And then we got back and my husband was driving and he blew a belt on his truck, which like easy, right? Belt, you don't worry. It's fine. He's like mechanic-ish. He can figure it out. So he goes to fix it and realizes he needs to take my car. So he drives my car down to get the belt and messes my car up. He gets the brakes stuck. They will not come undone. We beat it with hammers. We sprayed it with brake cleaner. It would not come undone. Like locked up, tire smoking. So then we went from having 2 cars to having 1 car. And then we went from having 1 car to having 0 cars. And I was like, are you freaking kidding me? Who breaks a car on the way down to fix another car? Us. So when it rains, it pours. So I feel ya. We're figuring it out, but
aren't car issues the worst? Like, they are so debilitating sometimes. Like, at least for me, I like feel trapped. I'm like, I need to have something to get away from here, and I freak out. So it sucks.
oh my god. Marley wrecked her car. Just got in a car accident. I won't be back right away. Where's my phone? I'm gonna text her. Anyways,
Let me keep answering these questions while you do that.
But yes,
see if she needs us to come get her.
Go.
I'm gonna text her real fast and see what's going on.
I'll leave my headphones on.
Why don't you just call her? We just call her.
See if she needs somebody to come
Yes.
get her.
Sorry. It's just sorry. We got
when it
sidetracked.
rains,
It
right?
pours. It's just always something. But the other thing is, like, we drive so far, so like, we don't have anything. And like, I'm picking on Cayley. She did not mean it this way, but literally, I'm over here like ranting about all the crap that's been going on and my car being broken, blah 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 blah, and being mad about it. And like 10 minutes later, she's like, "So is there anything that's gonna prevent you from going sourcing on Tuesday and Wednesday, or Wednesday and Thursday by yourself like usual?" And I just paused and I was like, no, I don't think so. And she just kind of looked at me like, what are you talking about? Like, I could tell she had already just like spaced out about it, wasn't thinking. And I was like, I think my car will be back by then. And she was like, oh, I'm so sorry. I was like, no, it's fine. But it's just funny. It's funny how quickly our mind just like forgets things. So
Yeah, I was compartmentalizing some different questions, and it had nothing to do with ability to get there. It was like your schedule.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh wait.
no, it's fine. Kayla wants to know, what time of day do you think is a good time to list?
She said everybody's okay. It's at the post office. She's waiting on the cops, but she wants me to bring home all of it.
Okay.
Good?
Yeah.
Yep.
You do you. Tell her if she needs anything to call, text, whatever. What time of day is a good time to list?
Sorry, I was worried about Marley.
I always list early. I don't know if it's just like a personal thing for me, but I feel like when it rains, it pours. I just feel like, I don't know, I like it to be there for the majority of the day. I feel like shoppers, though, typically shop in the evenings, but I don't know. That'd be an interesting survey, is what time people eBay shop.
Yeah, so I'm curious, is the question, what is a good time for you to do the act of listing, like to get it off of, like to do the task as the seller? Or do you mean when is a good time to set the listing active? I feel like you're asking when's the time to set it active.
Yeah.
The answer is whenever your buyers are most active. So you got to figure that out. But what I'll tell you is that more importantly, it's more important to be consistent and to get listings up. So if you're thinking of these little minute details and it's preventing you from getting your listings done because you're so focused on when they get set active, then the time of day is not important. Get it done consistently first. We personally set everything live at 8 a.m. when we walk in. So we're not even choosing necessarily a really good time of the day to schedule listings. It's just what's most convenient for our workflow, and I would rather us be able to like get stuff done in it to make sense and have it off of our plate than to worry about the time of the day that it's going active. But if you've got all that figured out, then next step is figure out when your buyers are most active on the platform. That's when you want to set them live.
Two things. One, somebody talked about adjusting everything to ground advantage because except for shoes. So maybe start thinking we could do it by category.
Yeah.
Could be an option. Also, somebody said on the shipping topic, I'm noticing anything with an outstanding offer to the liker or watcher will not let you correct it at this time. So you might want to think about that when we go to make the change. You might not want to send offers that morning.
That's true.
Just mental process thinking. Or a couple days before.
Yeah. Well, I'll have to write that down.
Yeah, because we'll forget and then we'll have to end stuff and redo it.
Yeah.
When you agree to a return, do you pay the shipping or does the buyer? It is up to you depending on what you have your return set as. You can do it as buyer or as seller pays. Totally up to you. Ours, personally, we have set to free returns, which means we pay for the return shipping. But they also do not get their original shipping back.
Mm-hmm.
How do you describe a color of an item when a color has different variations? We normally just put on the photo, like if we have a listing and like the photo looks kind of weird, like the first photo looks different than the middle photo or whatever, we try to find out which photo has the like most realistic, truest color looking in the photo, and then we normally put a note in the comment section that the true color of the item is in picture 5 or something along those lines.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's better to do something like that, Backpack Baby, than it is for you to just say, like, this is a tomato orange, or, you know what I mean? Like, if you get eggplant purple, if you get, like, super specific, that's still up to, like, interpretation. We like to just reference it based on whatever photo and say that this is, like, the truest color. And then that's going to prevent people from, like, coming back later and saying that you lied.
Yes.
Trina says that she ordered a bunch of boxes from Uline and that she was able to get 25 boxes for $57. That's a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
We say that this is like the expensive option because these boxes are more expensive than what the banker boxes were. However, totes are very expensive. Like, that's originally why we started looking at banker boxes in the first place, is because we were paying like $7 and $8 for totes. And it was just absurd. We were like, we can't keep doing this. So that's why we originally went to banker boxes. And we're kind of splurging a little bit more on these little baby guys back here. But
the boxes,
they're not horrible.
Yeah, the boxes themselves each are cheap, but now it takes 4 boxes to fill a shelf instead of 2. So that's why it gets kind of expensive. But
look how cute these are, though. Like, it's literally like the perfect just row. Oh, it's backwards. Perfect row. Also, see, look at these labels. Look at them. This was the compromise. Cayley wanted to change the system. I did not want to change the system. So we changed the system. But she let me have these pretty handy dandy little labels because they made my heart happy and I felt like I could see them better. Also, fun fact, if you have a Rollo printer, you can print them. We are not handwriting them anymore. And my life has never been so fulfilled.
I've pre-filmed about our new inventory system, but I can't complete that video until I do a screen recording of how we print those labels. So that'll be coming out soon if you guys want to know more details. But yes, we did a test run because she was not on board in the beginning, and the girls, they were not on board or on board, but they didn't know. So we did a small test run in the beginning, and if you guys are thinking about converting, I would also suggest do a little bit of a test run.
She's okay. It's just a fender bender, but she
Oh.
said it's the first one she's ever been in, so she's a little shaken up.
Okay.
Poor thing.
I told her it was okay. I said it happened.
Poor baby Marley.
She said that the lady was turning right. Well, she had her turn signal on, so she thought she was turning right. So she pulled out, and then
Yeah.
it was a van.
Okay.
Fender benders and I can't say that word. I'm gonna stop where I'm at. I offended somebody last week, so 2 weeks ago. So I'm not gonna use that word anymore. Yeah, we were. I don't know. It's not that I'm against it. I still am not 100% a fan. I'm trying to like it. I don't know. I like the boxes. Yes, I like those. I hated the banker boxes. Those are better. I like that you can find things somewhat easier. I like that you don't have to use the boxes all the time.
Listings easier because you just put them away.
But it's the finding them. We still have a lot that don't have labels on them, and I struggled some this morning to find some. But that will be fixed once they have labels on them. So like we're getting there. It's just we got to finish it, which is always our problem, is finishing things. How we already answered that. Do you reuse the numbers? I have the same system, but finding time putting them away makes I'm finding it time consuming to put them away rather than just make space. That's actually part of the system that we switched to. Is we used to just label all the inventory and then we would take time at the end of the day to put things away, and that was just so time consuming. So we stopped doing that. We don't recycle numbers anymore. We're just condensing them down as we go. We don't yet know what it's going to look like to fill them back in, but we'll let you know when we do. Right now, we've been condensing them down little by little. We've gotten about a row. We've been doing it for what, like a month, probably? A month and a half?
Yeah.
And we've condensed on about a shelf in each row. For now, but we don't know whether it's going to stay like that or not. So to be honest, I can't really give you a whole lot of information yet on like the best way to condense them down, because we're still kind of testing that method out and figuring out what works. But as soon as we know, we'll let you know. I can tell you that you do save a significant amount of time with not putting things away and not recycling your numbers. So, and you can use the Rolo printer then to just keep printing new numbers, and it goes a lot faster.
That's been printing the numbers for me has been like
time saving.
Yeah, and also we used to spend time, since we're not replacing the numbers now, we're just creating new numbers and moving sequentially. Since we're not replacing numbers, we used to spend time before shipping every day to write down the SKUs too of what had sold, so that we could use them as replacements later, and we don't do that anymore. So that's one step that's just like completely eliminated, which has been pretty cool.
How long do sold items stay in your Poshmark closet?
Sold items?
Yes.
Forever, I think. I mean, I don't know how long, but like stuff I sold years ago is still there.
Could you do an IRT pricing example? I found a striped black label Ralph Lauren t-shirt new with tags. I listed it on eBay, but I felt like it was unique, so I had no idea. But am I missing something?
I'd have to have more information. Like, is there a material? Like, is it linen? Is it cotton? Or what? But I can't do a screen share because we're filming on my phone right now. But if I were... I mean, we can do a comp real quick. The way I would list it would be, the way I would search it would be, depending on if it's short sleeve or long sleeve, So I would search, what is it? Ralph Lauren. Is it Ralph Lauren or Lauren Ralph Lauren?
Ralph Lauren.
Lauren Ralph Lauren, black label, women's t-shirt. Right now, striped is the only information that I have, but I would probably include material if there's a good material. Is it short sleeve? Is it long sleeve? And then
short sleeve. Can't find anything similar. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
So t-shirt, short sleeve. I would just probably search that and then go from there. And she said it was new with tags, or they said it was new with tags.
It's not even giving me the option for brand. I normally try to select brand when I do Ralph Lauren, Ralph Lauren, Polo Ralph Lauren, so you can pick which Lauren you've got, but it's not letting me do it. There's a short sleeve t-shirt, unless this is yours. Is it orange? Because this is orange. For $40. There's another like paisley one for $40.
Those are the available
$65.
listings. So how many
There are 17 available and 11 sold.
not bad.
But it looks like the ones that are selling for like pretty cheap money.
25.
Yeah. That's surprising.
30. 25.
Yeah.
So because it doesn't have a 100% sell-through rate, I would probably price on the lower tier and go for 25. That's how I would price it, unless you had like a much larger size and you were the only one in that size, or it's linen, or you know, a different material, then maybe you can bump it up a little bit, but that's how we would comp that.
In real time.
I was thinking, did she mean in real life? But you said T, and I was like, what does T stand for?
I was been sitting over here thinking the whole time she's been having this conversation, what does IRT stand for? And I was like, in real, and I was like, in real time. Pricing example. Okay. Mercari shipping prices will not change until 2024 because the shipping contract will not be renegotiated.
Oh, interesting.
Do you offer a multiple quantity shipping discount? Yes. We do $10 flat shipping if you buy 2 or more items. What do you do if people buy more than one item and forget to combine shipping? Oh my god. Sorry, did I hurt you? I don't want to hurt your neck. It's annoying.
I said
being gentle.
Yeah, it wouldn't even be you. It's just constantly an issue.
So lately, let me give you the tea. Lately, the thing has been people want to accept offers on multiple items to get the discount, which we've been offering 15% discounts on things. They will accept the offers, and then they come back and they're like, oh my gosh, do you do discounted shipping? Yeah, we do. One or the other. You don't get both. You can pick. We can cancel them. You can combine them. You can get $10 shipping, but you're not getting both. We used to be like, oh, we'll be your friend. They're there. We'll help you. Now we're like, no, you can have one or the other. Because people, they take advantage of it. And we started realizing it was the same people who did it over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. And maybe I'm just getting salty as I get older.
It was getting out of hand.
They definitely take advantage of it. And like, I can tell if it's somebody who's like, you can tell that they're not very familiar, like, whatever, we'll give it to them. We'll help them work through it and say, hey, next time we're not going to, but be careful, because a lot of people are doing that now, and they're like trying to get some extra money out of your pocket.
Yeah.
If you can afford it, good for you. If you can't, we get it.
It was happening a lot to us.
It's like every day, a couple times a day.
Yeah.
But yes, we do offer a shipping discount. We normally tell them that they have to be purchased in one lump sum. If y'all like what Cayley said today, y'all should hit the like button. She's working hard today.
We got 200 people watching and only 39 thumbs ups. Come on, guys, give us a thumbs up.
Belle Resells wants to know if anyone in the chat is a media seller. If anybody's in here, talk to Belle Resells. I tried shipping policies one time, and it was so many pages, and it messed up my store. It's not for me.
Yeah. I was reading, I'm not going to go in the weeds with this, but I was reading about it today, and supposedly when you turn business policies on, eBay creates policies based on what you already have in your store. And so it might create several pages, and then there's supposed to be a button, and it's like something to the effect of like clean up business policies, and then it's supposed to clean up anything that like you haven't used or you don't have active listings on. And apparently some people try that and then it doesn't work, and you have to contact eBay, and it's like a whole thing. But yes, I've had the same experience. It messes everything up, and I'm not a fan.
Patty says, I'm desperately looking for a shipping supply store that is cheaper than Amazon. We've been using Temu. It's pretty cheap. Not gonna lie and say that like everything's been like the best, but a lot of the stuff we've been getting has been like the same quality as what we were getting on Amazon, and we're probably, even if we don't have, what's the word? Sponsorship. I was thinking subscription, and that wasn't it. Even if we don't have sponsorships with them, we'll probably still purchase some things from Temu even after.
Shipping takes longer, so you have to like plan ahead.
But yeah. How do you guys stay motivated when sales are slow down? It's hard for me to stay motivated when I have 2 to 3 sales a day. What's your thought?
First of all, I just want to say thanks to everybody that was sending the nice things about Marley. I'll let her know that you guys were praying for her and sending those positive vibes out, so really appreciate it. Sorry, I was caught up in the kindness, which we don't get a lot in the chat. So I was like, oh, what was the question?
Staying motivated when sales are slower.
Yeah, it's hard in the beginning. I think now it's just like automatic for us because we know what's going to happen, right? So like once you've done it enough times every year, you know, okay, I'm about to go into a slow season. Like you just know that's going to happen. So I guess just over time you learn that that's a trend and you try to prepare for it the best that you can. Ways to prepare for it. I like to use this time to do anything that I didn't get to do during the busy season because it's slower. So use the time to educate yourself, rearrange your office. If you're going to try out a new shipping or a new inventory system, you know, these would be the time to slow down and like really work through it because you're going to have extra time. And then we also, to kind of combat the slow sales so that we can remain steady instead of dropping, is when sales start to drop, we increase our listings. So then it like flatlines and we just kind of stay there until Q4. And we do that every year. I've always done that. It always works like that. So I focus on, you know, getting stuff done and then increasing my listings. Now, I'm not gonna lie, even with increase of listings, we still have slower sales. Our sales have been, for the last like 3 weeks, I think, the slowest they've been in a really long time. But I just keep reminding myself that here in a couple months, that's all going to change, and the work you put in now will blow up your sales in a positive way later. So spend your time now while you've got it. List a bunch of items. That way when back to school starts, you know, Thanksgiving, Christmas, gift giving season, you're prepared because you spent the time during the slow season. But that's how I stay motivated. I just have a plan and we do the same thing every year. How about you?
I took that question a different way.
Okay.
Kind of a different way. So it was interesting to think about. I was thinking of it like as, I don't know, more of like a daily thing rather than it being like a whole slowdown season. I took it as more of like you come in one day to work and there's only 2 or 3 items that you have to ship. Mm-hmm. So like one, ditto with Cayley, that you do other things you haven't had time for. But if you're feeling like a severe lack of motivation, bust through the rest of your day and go home. Like, we have those days where maybe like the girls take the time off and we like come in and we just like haul butt and get through stuff. If you're like struggling to feel motivated and you're just like, man, I just don't want to do that, use it as like a reward for yourself. So like, we're going to kick butt today. We're going to blow through everything that we need to do. And then we're going to take the rest of the afternoon, do whatever we want to do so that it's like off our plate and we feel better and we can move on. Sometimes the only way that you can like really be motivated and successful is to clear whatever else you're thinking about out of your mind. And sometimes it's just taking the time to actually do whatever you're thinking of and then moving forward. But yes, definitely if it's like extended versus more than just like a day once every couple months that you're getting like a slow day. If it's a whole season, I definitely would work on things like inventory and stuff like that. I just, like I said, I took it more like a one random day.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Clear your mind of, I don't know, do something fun and distract and motivate yourself. Just make sure probably don't do it more than one day. If you're doing that like every single week, you're gonna fall in a rut.
Yeah, but definitely give yourself like time to be rewarded. Set individual goals. I think that's one of the hardest things about working by yourself. If you don't have a team with you, is like there's really nobody holding you accountable but yourself. Mm-hmm. So like set a goal for yourself. If I came in today and I was the only person that was here, I would 100% like set a challenge for myself. We actually had this conversation on Friday that I'm like a very competitive person when it comes to just like everyday work. I can be competitive with myself. Like it doesn't have to be me against Cayley on how to do something. But like I can say, okay, last Friday I know it took me 2 hours to complete this task. Today I'm gonna do it in an hour and a half. And like I find like little games to motivate myself. And like if I was completely on my own and had nobody else here with me, like I would just bust through everything that I could and then just go home. And that's kind of been Cayley and I's mentality on a lot of things. Like if we know that it's just the two of us and we don't have the girls and they don't need to be here all day, like how fast can we get things done? Like let's challenge ourselves to just be able to reward ourselves. So set goals, be competitive, and then like don't be opposed to rewarding yourself for things. If you really want to do something, you really are struggling because you would rather be doing something else, use that as your reward. Get everything else done and then give yourself whatever it was that you wanted once you achieve it, but not before that.
Yeah.
I'm still pretty new, so you might have to discuss this many times before, but do you have your shipping picked up or do you have someone take it in? How often? I'd assume daily.
Yes, we have a 1 business day handling time, so Monday through Friday, unless it's a holiday, we are required by eBay at least to get our packages out or we get a ding on our account. So we do have a very strict shipping policy here at the office, which is it gets shipped every day that you're here working. We have people take it to the post office. We contemplated a few times, but specifically like a few months ago, we actually talked to our postmaster about getting packages picked up. I used to have packages picked up when I was a solo seller and I had a very reliable post office person. It was the same girl every day, came and picked it up, so I could rely on her. But we're at a very big scale now, and even though our post office is great, sometimes the drivers themselves aren't reliable, if that makes sense. So we kind of had to weigh our pros and cons. We talked to our postmaster. We actually tried to get involved with this. Do you remember what it was called? It was some kind of USPS like commercial business plan. And to make a long story short, we ended up deciding we're just going to bring items to the post office. And we actually could have them come pick stuff up and like basically be on them about making sure they're reliable. However, apparently, when you get items picked up, the post office itself does not get credit for the package.
They get credit for them, but they don't get hours.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we, because of the amount of business we brought to the post office from bringing our packages there, they've actually been able to hire people because of our business. And so the postmaster was a little bummed when he heard that we might be switching, but he was also like, I get it, it's your business, whatever. Ultimately, we decided we really value our post office and we're going to bring our packages there, and it also ensures that they're getting scanned every day. But they take really good care of us. I mean, they prioritize us. They are lightning fast when we get there. They make sure to scan every package, so we don't really mind driving them over.
Yeah, it was best for them, and we didn't want to cause anybody their job or any revenue, so we stuck with it that way. Hi, I just recently subscribed to your channel. I have a question. When you do bulk sourcing / buying, do you add and track items line by line, or how do you use your inventory system when buying in bulk? Thanks.
I mean, we treat it the same way that we treat regular inventory. I am cautious giving tax advice because there are multiple ways to do it. I used to track line by line by line every single sale and every single item that we brought in. You don't need to do that if you don't want to. And I do think based on the state you're in, there could be an advantage to doing it one way or a different way. So you want to talk to a tax professional, not me. But the way that we do it is whenever we bring anything in, whether it's wholesale, we purchased it at a Goodwill, whatever. We just record the total amount. that we purchased, the amount of items that we purchased. And then what happens is at the end of the year, you'll have a total number that's currently still active in your inventory. And long story short, you'll be able to figure out how many items sold. And a lot of people now track it. A lot of resellers now track it in a more whole sense because it's just easier that way. However, it can be beneficial when you are a new reseller to do line by line cost of goods and sales, because once you like do a few line by lines, you'll see like the kind of profits that you're making, and I think it can be good information. But really, you just need your receipt, how much you paid, how many items did you bring in, and move forward. And some people also do like average cost of goods also. The important thing is whatever method you choose, you stick to using that same method for the whole year. Talk to a tax professional. What's good about us now is if we wanted to switch to the line by line, we could, because we have our sourcing spreadsheets. So we actually do have a line by line if we wanted to.
Yeah. Are you sourcing fall/winter now? I know you guys are like a month ahead in sourcing. We are starting.
Yeah, we are not. We have it in the back of our minds to get the more high quality pieces, but we are by no means focusing on it. We'll probably give it, I don't know, we'll just say like maybe to the end of this month, and then once August hits, we'll probably start heavily focusing on it.
Yeah, I have one wholesaler that I've been working with. I think probably either the end of this week or early next week, I'll start buying sweaters and winter stuff from them. Just because they have some stuff that they've already kind of had, and I've got some really good quality. I'm currently working through one batch of their stuff now. I think we're going to kind of wait till I get through that just to see how things shake out. But honestly, like I got some really high tier stuff from her, and she had some sweaters available. So I think I'm going to start working through sweaters with her sooner rather than later. And probably just kind of banking that stuff back a little bit. This last run I did with that, it took about a month before it got shipped. So I think that'll put us probably pretty much in line with that. But like Cayley said, probably the end of this first week in August, we'll probably heavily start kind of searching into it. It's also a good time to buy. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
It's a good time to start looking for sweaters, things that people are still marking down from last year that they didn't sell. There's some like specific sweaters that people don't know about. If you can buy some of those, you might have a good opportunity to pick up some of those signature, I'm gonna call them signature sweaters that people probably listed incorrectly, or listed too late in the season that people haven't realized yet and they've marked down. It's a good time to buy up some of those higher dollar ones that people have mislisted.
Yeah, I was gonna say you kind of have to walk a fine line of when you decide to start buying ahead of season. You kind of have to have had some experience, because you have to kind of know every year and have that knowledge built up, because you can't rely on the data necessarily. There are some pieces you still can, but like you can't do your normal comp method. So really, we're just picking up things that we know sell well every single season, using the little bit of data that we have. So like maybe it's a 50% sell-through rate right now, but the ones that are selling for like $50 plus. That's a good indicator of a fall winter item. But if you're new to reselling, it's really hard to kind of like plan ahead for that, because you can't rely on comps. So you're kind of walking a fine line of trying to rely on the knowledge you have from the year before or years before, and also the little bit of data that is still on eBay. And even on eBay sold comps, like maybe there are some selling, but maybe buyers are only purchasing it at 75% of the amount that they would in winter. So like if there's a $75 sweater that sells $75 all day long in winter, but it's only selling $40 right now consistently. So it's like you gotta keep that in mind as you're sourcing ahead of season. But we have a little bit of experience now. We can start doing that.
Alicia wants to know if there's a way to print a USPS scan sheet on Poshmark. I don't believe so.
No, I don't think so. They have like individual QR codes like within each individual one, but not like a full unscanned sheet like eBay has.
A lot of people are saying that they put the like weights, locations, purchase date, all that stuff in their SKUs. They're sharing that in the chat.
Cool.
I just started selling about 2 weeks ago. Do you recommend buy now or doing the auction?
I recommend buy it now. Auctions are very volatile, and sometimes people don't pay, they bid and then they don't pay, and then you have to keep track of auctions ending and starting them, and it's just like a whole thing. So yeah, we just do buy it now.
I thought this comment was funny. It says, I'm supposed to be doing my full-time job, but listening to y'all is way more interesting. This would be me right now. I think I sent Cayley a picture the other day of me like sitting on my couch at home watching YouTube, and it was literally watching her on YouTube on my couch, and I was like, I miss her so much when we're not together. I just have to watch her when we're not. Oh, Little Bits Now, aren't they super helpful? They helped me pay my son's tuition. We love you guys. You make my heart happy. Well, Miss Nat, I'm coming for you. I'm coming all the way back to Texas. What's the least expensive you will list an item when it is considered a waste of time? I have items that people gave me. If it's that crappy that you're asking what's the cheapest you should market, you probably are more so asking if you should list it, and it sounds like the answer is probably a no. Yeah. But I'll let you answer what's the cheapest you think you've ever sold anything.
I mean, if we're I think she's talking, or I keep saying she, sorry. Most of my viewers are female, but they are asking.
Her name is Marilyn.
Okay, she was asking. I think she's more so asking, like, moving forward, you picking up items and listing them. What's worth your time?
She said she has stuff people gave her. So I'm assuming if it's something that you're not paying for the item, what is the cheapest?
Well, I think you definitely want to consider sell-through rates, yes. Number one, because if it's not going to sell quickly, it's going to be in your storage space for a while. So, like, if it's a $15 item and it's going to sit there for a year and you're going to pay fees on that to list it every single month, like, just something to consider, you know. You also have to consider, do you have employees? Like, for us, our lowest amount's going to be a lot different because we have people who list them for us, so there are a lot more costs incurred when we list an item. But I would say if I was solo, I would say $15 or higher, but the caveat is that it would have to be a high sell-through rate. Like, I'm thinking
guaranteed sale.
Yeah, I'm thinking of like Life is Good t-shirts, right? Like $15 to $20 all day long. You could sell those really, really quickly. And it'd be worth throwing up because they're quick and easy to list. But like J. Crew tank top size small that you don't know, you know, you think it's cute, but it's probably going to sit there for 2 years and you're going to reduce the price anyways to like $8. You know, is it worth it? So you have to weigh all of those things. For me, we're trying to increase average sale price right now, so we really try not to pick up anything $25 or less, and even still we're trying to aim for like $35 to $40. So it's all about your business model. There is not one like way to do it. It all really depends on what you have going on, how quickly you can list. But if I were solo, I would say $15, but it would have to be a 100% sell-through rate item and easy to list.
Sold. Tiger Allen Pride said that a lady with her post office kicked and threw a package down 3 flights of stairs. So she doesn't do pickup anymore. I probably wouldn't either. And then John Carlos says, we should all love and appreciate our post office because honestly, none of this would be possible without them. I thought that was a good shout out.
True. Do you like silk material, Cayley? I like picking it up, yes.
So I don't like to wear it or wash it.
Yeah, I mean, I would if it were easier to maintain, but we do like selling silk.
We have a hello from Palm Beach, Port St. Lucie. Question. Do you gals plan to attend any of this year's eBay Open in-person events? No.
I don't know.
I said no.
I don't think so. We have
Probably not.
We have a lot going on. We have a lot of expenses coming up because we're about to hire another new hire, and it just doesn't seem in the works time-wise or expense-wise for the end of the year. But if we were to go to something, I would prefer to go to eBay Open only because we've never been there. What?
Do you know where one of the eBay Opens is? You know they do it in 4 cities now.
Yeah, I read them, but I don't remember.
Chicago.
Oh, yeah.
You see, this is
Don't
the
get me
pot,
started.
and I just created a whirlpool. All right, any more questions? Because we're caught up.
Marilyn Manson is not a she.
That is true.
That is true.
I think I saw a really cute puppy in that photo with a woman, so I said that. But maybe I was wrong. What platform do you currently use that brings you in the most sales and success?
eBay. Yes.
I like Posh because it's easier. For the most part. Other than all the sharing BS. But listing, it's easier. But eBay just keeps outperforming.
There's just so many more users on eBay that you're just bound to have more sales over there. All right, guys. Well, if you don't have any more questions, we're going to get off here because we need to go check on Marley. I got to see what's going down with that and make sure she's okay.
Would like 6 more likes before we leave.
Okay.
Please.
We have 200.
I'll do the heart hands. So if you want to drop some heart hands. Did you make that an emoji on your channel? Because if not, you need to do this one.
It's already an emoji.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you determine shipping costs on eBay? We do calculated shipping.
One more. We plug in 101. Okay, there we go. We plug in how much it weighs in the dimensions, and it calculates it for us based on where the buyer lives. All right, guys.
Thank you. We appreciate you.